In the world of numismatics, there are certain coins that become legendary, not just because of their rarity, but because of the fascinating stories behind them. The 1988 USA 1-cent penny is one such coin that has intrigued collectors and historians alike for decades. When you think of a penny, it's easy to dismiss it as just another small, everyday coin. But the 1988 penny, in particular, is a fascinating example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can be much more than it first appears. Let's travel back to 1988 for a moment. The United States was in the middle of a transformative period. The country was experiencing a surge in economic optimism, the tail end of the Reagan era. The Cold War was still a major global concern, and technological advancements were beginning to reshape the way people lived. However, in the world of coinage, things were a bit more traditional. The penny, for instance, had seen little change in its design for decades. The obverse, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, had been in place since 1909. The reverse, which depicted the Lincoln Memorial, had been used since 1959. The penny was a coin that many people simply took for granted. But little did anyone know, 1988 would mark the end of an era for the penny, setting the stage for some important changes. In the years leading up to this, there had been a steady decline in the usage of the penny. With inflation on the rise, many felt that it wasn't even worth producing these tiny coins anymore. Yet, despite the growing calls for eliminating the penny, it remained a staple in American currency. The production of pennies during this time was largely driven by tradition, but also because the cost of producing them wasn't significantly higher than their face value. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1988 penny. On the obverse, we find the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has become one of the most iconic representations of Lincoln in history. Since its introduction in 1909 to mark Lincoln's centennial, this design has been featured on the penny in nearly every year since. It's a powerful reminder of the nation's history, especially during the turbulent times of the Civil War in 1988. The reverse of the penny still featured the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The memorial, located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., was completed in 1922 and had been featured on the penny since 1959. The reverse side was instantly recognizable, symbolizing the enduring legacy of Lincoln and the United States. However, for all the beauty and historical significance of the penny, it was still just a small piece of copper-plated zinc. Worth only 1 cent now, let's talk about the production of the 1988 penny. While the design of the coin was relatively unchanged from previous years, the minting process continued to evolve. The United States Mint produces pennies at several facilities across the country, but in 1988, the majority of pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, with additional production occurring at the Denver Mint. The minting process was highly precise, as is typical for U.S. coin production, to ensure that each penny met the necessary specifications for size, weight, and appearance. At the time, the penny was made primarily of copper, but a significant portion of the coin's composition had already been switched to zinc. In fact, the composition of the penny had been changing gradually for decades, driven by the increasing cost of copper. By the late 1980s, pennies were primarily made of copper-plated zinc, with only a thin layer of copper on the outside. This change in composition marked a turning point in the history of the penny, as the rising costs of copper would eventually lead to even more drastic changes in the coming decades. In terms of mintage numbers, the 1988 penny was produced in large quantities. The total number of pennies struck that year was over 5 billion, a staggering number that reflects the ongoing demand for the coin in everyday transactions. Yet, despite the sheer volume of pennies in circulation, there were still some that would become highly sought after by collectors, often due to errors or other anomalies in their production. But what makes the 1988 penny stand out in the world of numismatics is not just its historical context or design. No, it's the story of a particular 1988 penny, a coin that, through a series of unlikely circumstances, would become worth far more than its face value. This is where the real intrigue begins. You see, a small percentage of 1988 pennies were struck with a unique error that would go on to captivate the numismatic world. These coins were minted with a die that had been improperly aligned, creating a double die effect. In layman's terms, this means that the image on the penny was stamped twice, slightly out of sync. The result? A coin with a slight, yet noticeable, doubling effect on the letters and numbers. For collectors, these kinds of errors are incredibly valuable. The first time this particular error was discovered, it caused quite a stir. No one had expected to find such a unique anomaly in a coin that was produced in such massive quantities. The discovery of this double die error caused a ripple effect through the numismatic community, as collectors scrambled to get their hands on these rare pennies. What began as a minor mistake in the minting process soon turned into one of the most coveted coins among penny collectors. For years, the value of the 1988 double die penny fluctuated, but over time, the price steadily increased as collectors began to recognize its rarity and historical significance. And now, if you were to find one of these 1988 double die pennies, it could be worth a staggering amount. You might be wondering, just how much is this particular penny worth? Well, brace yourselves, because the value of a 1988 double die penny can reach up to $113,000. Yes, you read that right, $113,000. For a penny that was originally worth just 1 cent, that's an extraordinary increase in value. Of course, not every 1988 penny will fetch that kind of price. The condition of the coin, its grade, and the severity of the double die error all play a role in determining its value. But even pennies that are in less than perfect condition can still command impressive amounts. What makes this penny so valuable is the combination of rarity, the unique error, and the demand among collectors. There simply aren't many of these coins in circulation, and even fewer in good condition. As time passes and fewer of these pennies are found, the value will likely continue to rise. It's important to note, though, that finding a 1988 double die penny is no easy task. These coins are extremely rare, and they don't just appear in your pocket change every day. In fact, most of them are carefully kept in the collections of passionate numismatists who understand the significance of this particular error. However, if you're lucky enough to come across one, you could be holding onto a true gem. The story of the 1988 penny is a reminder of how the world of coins is full of surprises. It's a tale of how a minor mistake, a small deviation in the minting process, can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. The 1988 double die penny is a perfect example of how numismatics is about more than just the value of money. It's about the history, the craftsmanship, and the stories behind each coin. And for collectors, it's a reminder that sometimes, even the smallest coins can hold the greatest treasures. So, the next time you pick up a penny, take a moment to appreciate it. Who knows, you might just be holding on to a piece of history that could be worth more than you ever imagined. As we continue to dive deeper into the world of numismatics, it's fascinating to think about the broader implications of this discovery. The 1988 double die penny isn't just an anomaly. It's part of a much larger tradition of coin errors that have captivated collectors for centuries. Each error coin tells its own story, one of human oversight, technical mishap, and sometimes an unexpected stroke of luck. Whether it's a double die, a misaligned die, or an off-center strike, these coins give us a glimpse into the intricate process of minting money and the way small imperfections can lead to huge rewards. The discovery of errors in coins has been a cornerstone of numismatic collecting. Coin enthusiasts have always had a keen eye for spotting oddities that might have gone unnoticed by the general public. For the serious collector, the hunt for rare, error-ridden coins is both thrilling and rewarding. And the 1988 double die penny fits neatly into this tradition, standing as a testament to how an overlooked mistake can become a prized possession point. One of the things that makes coins like the 1988 double die penny so appealing to collectors is the fact that they are tangible pieces of history. Each coin that is minted represents a snapshot of its time. Coins have been used for centuries to represent wealth, power, and the very essence of a society. The 1988 penny, for example, has seen the evolution of American society, from its creation during the Lincoln presidency to its continued use in a world that was changing rapidly in the late 20th century. When you hold a rare 1988 double die penny in your hand, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a fragment of history, a physical manifestation of the past. For those new to the world of coin collecting, the value of an error coin like the 1988 double die penny might seem unbelievable. How can a penny, which was minted in the billions, become worth more than an entire house? The answer lies in the rarity of the error and the demand from collectors who recognize its value. For years, coin errors have been some of the most sought-after items in the world of numismatics, often fetching astronomical sums at auctions or private sales. The rarity, the historical significance, and the mystery surrounding these coins all play a role in driving their prices skyward. While some collectors specialize in rare and unique errors, others focus on more traditional forms of collecting, such as acquiring complete sets of coins from specific years or series. The 1988 penny might not be the cornerstone of every collection, but for those who specialize in error coins or Lincoln pennies, it's a crown jewel. For collectors who focus on the Lincoln series, finding a 1988 WWII penny can be a dream come true, especially given the growing recognition of its value and the increasing difficulty of finding one in circulation. Interestingly, the 1988 WWII penny is also a reminder of how numismatics has evolved in the digital age. In the past, collectors would have had to rely on printed guides, word of mouth, or trade shows to learn about coins and their value. Today, thanks to the internet, information about rare coins is more accessible than ever. Online auctions, specialized numismatic websites, and online communities allow collectors to share their knowledge, trade coins, and follow the latest market trends. This digital revolution has made it easier for collectors to connect and for coins like the 1988 WWII penny to gain wider recognition and demand. The presence of these error coins in the market also highlights a critical aspect of numismatics: grading. The value of a coin is often determined by its grade or the quality of its condition. Coins that are in mint condition with little to no wear typically fetch the highest prices. The condition of a 1988 WWII penny can vary, and the difference between a coin in good condition and one in excellent condition can mean tens of thousands of dollars. It's no surprise that professional grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, play a key role in the coin market, helping to verify the authenticity and condition of coins. Now, while the 1988 WWII penny is the crown jewel of this particular year, it's worth noting that the world of error coins is vast, with numerous other examples that have captured the imagination of collectors. From the 1955 WWII penny to the 2004 Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf, these coins have created excitement in the numismatic community for decades. The allure of finding an error coin continues to be one of the most thrilling aspects of coin collecting. Each coin has the potential to tell a unique story and, in some cases, turn into a valuable investment. As we reflect on the history of the 1988 penny, it's clear that it holds a special place in the broader context of U.S. currency. While the penny itself may seem like a trivial coin, it has become a symbol of the United States' ongoing relationship with money and the value we place on even the smallest pieces of currency. The fact that a 1988 penny could be worth over $100,000 today is a powerful reminder of how our perceptions of value can shift over time. What was once considered insignificant can, under the right circumstances, become priceless. As we close out this journey through the fascinating world of the 1988 USA 1-cent penny, let's take a moment to appreciate the complexity and beauty of numismatics. Coins are not just currency. They are historical artifacts, symbols of a nation's identity, and, in some cases, rare treasures. The story of the 1988 WWII penny is just one of many that make coin collecting such a captivating hobby and a field full of endless possibilities. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of coins, the thrill of discovery is always just around the corner. And who knows, maybe the next coin you pick up could be worth far more than its face value. So, the next time you dig through your pocket change or stumble across a coin in your collection, remember that there's more to it than meets the eye. You might just be holding onto a rare, valuable piece of history. After all, as the 1988 WWII penny has shown us, even the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises.